Because God has created. What I'm telling you that is because God creates moments in life that you need to pay attention to. In the Word of God, there was times when God was speaking, and then He would say the word Selah, which means to pause. That means to pause. That means that you have an agenda that you may have been wanting to fulfill, but I need you to pause and pay attention to what I just said. So today, because of, I believe that God is telling us all to pause. I believe that last week's events was one of those events that made the world pause. It paused no matter where you were, no matter if you like sports, if you did not like sports. The event itself made you pause, reflect, right? Pause, pay attention to. But what happens, we are such a forgetful nation that once something happened, by next week when a new thing happened, we forget about what happened last week, and we continue to move forward. You're gonna have to bear with us for a second while we work through this whole thing about getting the projector set up and going forward. But right now it's a little crooked, but we're gonna work with it. Amen. All right, so here's what God is saying. Today, God is saying the reason why I need you to understand that, tell somebody, say, we still on increase. That means God doing a work in you. And what the word increase means is to add to or accelerate. So tell somebody next to you, say, God is adding to your life and accelerating His presence in your life. God is about to accelerate His presence in our lives. And what He's saying is, I'm going to accelerate my presence in your life, not based off your status, not based off your education, not based off who you are, not based off who you aren't. I'm going to do it, which means I have already done it. When I sent my son to the cross, I already done it, and now I'm getting you because I'm trying to create these moments in your life where I want to accelerate myself into your life, but your circumstance keep not allowing me to accelerate in your life. So God wants to accelerate in your life. Here's why I'm telling you about the pause thing. Because have you ever told somebody something and they did the complete opposite? Have you ever told somebody something and they did the complete opposite? Have you ever told, how many of y'all got kids? Have you ever told your kids something and they did the complete opposite? Oh my God. Have you ever, so the question that you begin to ask is, what did you hear me say? Okay. I heard my wife telling my son this morning, get up, go, get up, get yourself together. So she up there going back and forth with him. Get up, get yourself together. All right, I'm gonna leave you. You're going with your dad. Don't make him late. Get up. I'm leaving now. Get up, get ready so you don't make your dad late. I walk right up there, 10:25, who laying in the bed? I heard her tell her the exact instructions. He was still laying in the bed as if he never heard the instructions. And you ask the question is, what did you hear me say? Am I the only one who ever had this conversation? No. All right, here's why I'll tell you that. It's because this, and then you say to them, that is not what I said. I said, and you begin to repeat yourself. That is not what I said. I said. And you begin to repeat yourself, and they say, oh, I didn't know that's what you wanted. You heard me the first time. Right? Well, here's the question. Has anybody ever told you something and you did the exact opposite? Because what happens is the reason why we are the Motivation Movement Ministry, the reason why we believe in connecting the disconnected to Christ, because sometimes what happened, have you ever been told something and you did the opposite? Because somehow, see this word right here? Because somehow something in what was said and what was done, something got lost in translation. It's not that the words is not there, because if I wouldn't have took them and made them in black, the word actually says lost in translation. But you looking at it and saying, he misspelled the word. No, it's saying what it said. It got lost in translation. And so sometimes what God says to us and our disobedience in the middle of what he said, sometimes it seems as though what God said got lost in translation because we are doing the exact opposite of what he said. If God said that I'm going to celebrate you in 2020, then what you need to do is get yourself in position to be what? It's celebrated. But every time he tells you something, you let your circumstances tell you why you're not going to obey. Every time he says something, you let your situations tell you why you can't move. Every time he says something, you say, oh, that's going to happen for me in 10 years. And he said, no, what I'm trying to do is in 11 days. He was taking the children of Israel to the promised land, from slavery. In 11 days, he was saying, I'm going to take y'all to this place. And it took him 40 years. But here's what happened. If you read it in the Hebrew, guess what that means? It means when he started the journey to take them to the promised land, it happened in January and February.
Wow.
Oh, y'all didn't hear what I'm saying. Go read your word for yourself. Go read it for yourself. Go look it up. The Hebrew word for the time that God was trying to take the Israelites from Egypt to the promised land, he started it in January and February.
Wow.
And it was just like us, that they disobeyed somewhere in January and February, that took them through 40 more Januaries and 40 more years through January and February. And God is saying, do I got to keep talking to you for the next 40 years, or can you get it now because I'm trying to accelerate you? Now here's the good part. Here's the good part. Somebody ain't going to get it. Here's the bad part. Somebody going to look up 40 years from now and be like, I wish.
Say 40.
I wish I would have did it. Have you ever told yourself that? When somebody told you to do something, like somebody told you to do something, you did the exact opposite. Somebody said, look, take your money, invest it in this. You should do this. You should move your money over here. You should save your money. You should fix your credit score. You should get yourself together. And you ignored all that. Then the opportunity came. And you was excited about the opportunity. Oh yeah, I'm about to go through the door. I'm about to get it. And then they like, what's your credit score? I should have listened then. Say, in order for me to increase, I'm going to have to invest.
What?
You're going to have to invest in what you plan to increase in. Plain and simple. The mindset you have now won't allow you to invest in your increase. I'd rather watch church online. No, the mindset you have now gets what God is saying to you lost in translation. Whatever narrative that you currently have won't allow God to accelerate in your life. Whatever narrative you currently have won't allow God to accelerate in your life. Me and my wife was talking last night. We was talking and we was going through some things. This week has been so productive, y'all. I'm telling y'all, God has been accelerating. He's been moving things in our lives. He's been just moving. Can somebody give God a praise for your acceleration in advance? For your acceleration in advance. What that means is there's something God gonna tell you this week that you ain't gonna ignore. Can we praise him in advance? There's something this week that God is going to say that you're not going to ignore, but because you know that what he says is attached to your acceleration, so you're going to move quicker
Now.
in it. It ain't going to be, here's what God told me in the beginning of the year. That whatever your win is, you know that thing is when I get my money. You know that thing when I hit the lottery. You know that thing. Y'all, nobody got that? When I get my education. When I get the promotion, you know those. Do I got any win people in here?
Yes.
Okay. When I get myself in shape, then I'm gonna start eating.
You know what?
No. He said, listen. Look at somebody because this is real important. Look at somebody and say, what I'm about to tell you is real important.
It's real important.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Whatever your win is now.
Come on here now.
Yeah, hear what I just said. Whatever your win is now. So whenever win is now. When you get your money, then you're going to.
It's now.
It's now. Tell somebody, say, whatever win is now. Your win is now. Don't wait till tomorrow. I have a guy that worked with me, and every day he leave work for the next day. And I said, you won't be lasting too much longer because I'm not leaving anything left for tomorrow because you're just trying to linger on so you can get more money. No, you need to finish the job now because tomorrow we got something brand new that we need to start. But if I keep being held up by you, then I'm not going to start what I need to start tomorrow, and tomorrow is the only now that I have in it.
Wow. Right.
Say the blessing is in now. So if I was supposed to do it yesterday, even though I'm doing it the next day, I missed the blessing from the now, which was yesterday. So God has given us instructions and said, do it yesterday, but you want to keep lingering on until tomorrow. No, man, I'll just come back tomorrow. No, finish it now. You understand? I'm in DMV. I need to get my driver's license. Man, this line too long. I'll just come back tomorrow. You better wait that line. Because the now is when you're going to get all the answers. The now is when you're going to pass. You come back tomorrow, you're going to fail. So you better stand in that line. Man, this line too long. No, it's a now. It's a now blessing. What God has said in the celebration, it is a now blessing. I am trying to do it for you now. I was trying to take you to the promised land now. 40 years from now you look at it saying, man, we should have been this. After 40 years? No, it's now. So whatever narrative that you currently have won't allow God to accelerate your life. So I began to, me and my wife was going through this thing, and we began to break some stuff down, and I began to get her to get a profile and do these things, because we had this thing called Unlocking Your Vision class. So when we went home, we went a little deeper into the Unlocking Your Vision class, which was personal. So we went from a broader setting to a personal setting. And now she's saying, help me unlock my vision. So all yesterday, she's like, you trying to help me unlock, ain't you? You trying to help me unlock, ain't you? And I'm saying, yeah, but every time I unlock, something get click. Every time I unlock, click. Every time I unlock, click. Because there was something in her mind that kept saying, no, I ain't got the education yet. No, I don't have all the letters behind my name. No, I don't have all the zeros behind my dollars. No, I don't have... And if she was doing all that, I'm looking at her and I'm saying, you know how many conversations I had with you when you're talking to me? And I'm just saying, no, because I don't have this. No, because this ain't working. No, because it ain't working. She come to me, she be saying to me all the time, you awesome. You amazing. And as soon as she says that, I begin to deflect that to someone or somebody else. No, God's saying, pause. Take it in. I'm trying to say something to you. You keep letting people dictate whether or not you good. You letting people dictate whether or not you good. You look at these seats and then you say, man, what they doing that I'm... Don't look at the seats. Look at me. I'm accelerating you because I'm going to push you past all this. So what that means is there's a narrative that I need to crush. Say there's a narrative.
There's a narrative.
That means narrative means a story. There's a story that you tell yourself in every situation that you need to crush. There's a story that we tell ourselves that make us make excuses for everything that we do.
Come on, Pastor.
There's an excuse for there's a story for every excuse that I have. You ever had that conversation with your children? So you got an excuse for everything.
Say.
Well, the reason why I ain't getting in the shower because I ain't see no rags.
What?
Me? Did you look? Well, the reason why I ain't cut on the hot water because I couldn't find the switch. The reason why I use soap because I ain't look behind it. What the? You got an excuse for everything. There's a story for everything. Right? My mother used to say to me all the time, boy, if it was a snake, it'd a bitch. Because I don't see it. I'll be right in the camera. I don't see no ketchup. Like, you don't see no ketchup. Right there, Demond. Right there, Demond. Right there, Demond. And I'm like, where? It's right there. And I open up the cabinet and I be like, I don't see it. And then she come right over there and say, boy, if it was a snake, it'd be it'd be right on the same cabinet, on the same level. All I gotta do is reach out and grab it. But whatever narrative you currently have, say so. I need to crush the stories that I'm telling myself that is stopping God from accelerating in my life. Can I tell you this? If somebody been in church 40 years and you just walked in the door today, and God will accelerate you right past that 40 years in 11 days. But you think you need to speak in tongues, you think you need to know all the scriptures, you need to know all the word, you need to know, all you need to do is say, speak, Lord, for my servant. It's listening. Here's why I want to tell you this. There's a word, it's called Shema. Everybody say Shema. Not Shema more, Shema. Right? But Shema. And the reason why I'm telling you this word is because it's a Hebrew word. It's a Hebrew word which means Shema. And last week events made me say, hold on, let me Shema. And so God is saying, I speak all the time, but you need to listen. You need to do what? You need to Shema. So what that means is, in the first context of that word, if you look at the Hebrew word, it's always like symbols, right? So the first symbol of that word means to hear or listen. So what God is saying is, in this, in today, and then through certain events, you need to hear and you need to listen. You need to Shema. You need to first hear and listen. Shema. You need to first hear and listen. Jesus told Peter something. Peter went and did the exact opposite because he did not hear or listen. So God is saying the reason why this is important, because the second part is to pay attention to or to focus on. And the reason why I put it on the road is because that's where I don't pay attention. I mean, drivers I got like that. I mean, people that drive and then look at people in the other car and say, you ain't paying no attention at all. Look at her texting. That's what you start to. Look at her texting. You just finished texting. Look at her texting. How you know she texting? How you know they texting? How you know they texting? Because they all over the road. They ain't even in their lane. They in your lane. And they come in the opposite direction. But it said this. It said pay attention or to focus on. The first part is to do what?
Hear and listen.
Hear and listen. The second part is to do what?
Pay attention to or focus on.
The third part is to respond. So this word Shema has 3 points to it. The first point is to hear and listen. The second part is to pay attention and give your focus. And the third part is to respond to what you say. And this is why Jesus said that the people are they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Meaning they hear what I say, but they won't do what I tell them. I'm speaking, but they're not responding to what I'm saying. How do you know when you say something to somebody and they do the exact opposite? It's because their actions show different from what you told them. That means they did not respond to what you said. They responded to what they heard. You got it? You didn't get it. They didn't respond to what you say. They respond to what they heard. And what is happening is when God says something, we're responding to what we heard. And what we're hearing is our story that we tell ourselves the reason why this ain't going to work in our lives. And God is saying, no, you are translating it through your story, and you didn't translate it through my story. You have to get back into the word. You have to hear what I'm saying and begin to speak to you. And so God is saying that I am Shema, meaning I am speaking all the time. Here's the part. Go to Genesis. You got a Bible. Go to Genesis chapter 1. Watch how amazing this is. Watch how amazing this is. You got a Bible. Go to Genesis chapter 1. Some of y'all heard me say go to Genesis chapter 1, but your story translated, I don't have no Bible. You got an excuse for everything. They got the Bible on the phone now. Matter of fact, the person next to you got it up already on their phone. You can just slide closer so you can read what that says. But there's a Shema. There's a problem with us hearing, listening, and responding. So Genesis chapter 1. Look what the world did. Look what creation did. In chapter 1, verse 3, it says that. It says what? Everybody read it together. Then God what? What did it say? Then God said, In verse 6, what does it say? And then God said. In verse 9, what does it say? And then God said. In verse 14, what does it say?
And then God said.
Then God said. In verse 20, what does it say? And then God said. Huh? What do verse 24 say? And then God said. In verse 26. And then God said. Every time he said something, something responded in what he said. Let there be light. And there was. All the way down to let us create man in our own image and our likeness. Till it was a what? Man. God is saying, I've been said it, and every time I said it, you see the results of the response. But why, when I say something to you, there's not a response? Shema also means a sign of hearing. The reason why I say this is because last week, 9 people lost their lives in a helicopter crash. Now listen to this. 9 people lost their life in what? A helicopter crash. Do you know that your presidents of the United States have been flying in a helicopter since the inception of helicopters and presidents? That is the safest mode of transportation that the president of the United States has declared. The United States has declared the safest mode of transportation is the president. Helicopters don't go down just to go down. Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? So when I see this, I'm saying, oh, everything stopped. Whether you was a Kobe fan or not a Kobe fan, everything stopped. What it did, I began to look at the number 8. We're going to read Proverbs 8, and then we're going to really finish out. But in Proverbs 8, we're going to go right into Proverbs 8. Here's what it says. Wisdom calls for a hearing. I'm a landowner. Everybody know what a hearing is, right? Oh, y'all been to court before. No, you've been to court with your brother, your sister, your cousin. You ain't never been to court, but you've been in a courtroom. How many people been in a courtroom before? Good. So when you're in a courtroom, there's a hearing that takes place. This hearing is because there is a defendant and there's a plaintiff, right? Oh, y'all know that. I was the plaintiff. This ain't Judge Joe Brown. Well, anyway, what I'm saying is there's a defendant and there's a plaintiff, and then there's a judge. And what the judge do is he called both of them into his chambers or his court so that he can now govern what is said and what is done. So this is Proverbs 8. It started verse 1, but it said wisdom. This is how it started out. It said wisdom calls for a hearing. Repeat that after me. Wisdom calls for a hearing. I don't believe that plane went down, that helicopter went down for no reason. I don't think that it just showed us how much we take life for granted. I don't think that it just showed us that we just expect to end up where we plan on going when we step out the house. I don't think that it showed us that we could just have disagreements and walk out the door and it's okay. I don't think it showed us that we could be beefing with somebody and beefing is more important than reconciling. I don't think it showed us that we need to learn how to love one another and get along with one another and accept one another and forgive one another and get back to the community that God wants us to be in. I don't think it showed us that chasing money is more important than your presence. I don't think it showed us no matter what you got, you ain't exempt. So wisdom is calling this hearing. And here's the hearing that wisdom is calling. It said, listen as wisdom calls out. Listen as wisdom do what? Calls out. It says Shema as wisdom call out. Meaning hear, pay attention to, focus on, but most importantly, respond. It means to hear, pay attention to, focus on, but more importantly, respond. So wisdom is calling this hearing because it's saying somebody need to pay attention. Wisdom is calling this hearing because it's saying somebody need to focus on. Because you left some dumb stuff this morning. You left some dumb stuff somewhere this morning. You left some dumb stuff in the parking lot. You got mad at your children because they wasn't ready. You left some dumb stuff this morning that you thought was important. And he said, I need you to pay attention to. Wisdom is calls for a hearing. And then, come on, let's read this together. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raise her voice. Wow, hold on. Wisdom is calling out. And then understanding is over there and say, object. Wisdom calling out and understanding is yelling. Whew, that is crazy. On the hilltop, look where they had to go. On the hilltop, along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroad. So wisdom is standing on the hilltop on a crossroad, right when you got to pass, and it's yelling out, stop your car. Stop moving right now. Pull over to the side. And understand this saying, and you still not paying attention. Wisdom saying, pull over to the side. Stop whatever you're doing right now, just pull over. And understand this saying, and why you keep going. Because what's about to be said is going to save your life. And what's about to be said is not only going to save your life, but it's also going to accelerate your life. But I got to get it to you now. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads, by the gates, at the entrance to the town. Man, you can't even get past this. On the road leading in, she cries aloud, I call to you, to all of you. To who? All of you. To who? Nah, skip you. Everybody. So I cry aloud to all of you. I raise my voice to all people. And look what the court hearing is about. On this side, I got too many simple ones. And on this side, I got too many foolish people. So wisdom standing there and saying, hold on. How long are you simple ones going to love your simple ways? And how long are you foolish ones going to think that your way is the only way? Right. Last week, I got rebuked by Waze, the app. I just knew where I was going. I had already went that way before. But Waze took me a whole nother way, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? So when it took me down this way, I'm like, I'm kind of lost. And the dude laughing at me because he's like, you lost. I'm like, nah, I'm looking for the CVS. That's my landmark. But I didn't see the CVS the way Waze took me. So then when Waze took me this way, at the back of this building, it says CVS. So I'm like, hey, they got CVS out here too? Yeah, out here too. Because I'm on a little rural road and then the CVS sign. I'm like, it's a CVS out here too? And I ain't no way in the world. Because the way I come, it's the CVS like right there. So when I'm leaving the place, I pull up in the parking lot to see what this CVS is. It's the same CVS. It just looked like it was at a different place because it sent me a so no way. I came up in the back of the CVS. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I'm at. But then God said to me, why you think your way is the only way? What if I want to take you another way, but I'm bringing you to the same point? How many times have me and my wife argued going to the same place to get to the same place, and we argue because we went two different ways? Right. You know you don't turn that vibe that high. We both cooking. We both trying to cook the same thing. But we arguing over it. You know what, matter of fact, we ain't even got to cook. You know what? I just ordered me some Uber Eats. And you didn't cut the fire off and everything. You didn't spoil the food and all that. All because wisdom has called out. I'm not the only one. No. And he's saying, you simple. Simple. I just got to put it plain and simple. You real simple. You think what you arguing about that Kobe's wife would be arguing about right now? She hanging back. You think Kobe's wife would be getting on her daughter if she was able to get her back for that moment? You think she'll be like, get your socks on, get dressed, you're making me late. You think she care about that? Why you keep doing it then, simple? Why you keep doing it then, foolish? Because you think your way is the only way. And I'm trying to show you that I'm trying to speak brand new words to you. Because the things that you have now won't allow you to get to where I'm taking you. It says, you simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Use some good what? Judgment, and show some understanding. The first thing you should do, whenever you have a conflict with somebody, the first thing you should do is ask a question. Don't lead in with your assumption. Ask why I'm late. Ask why I'm late. See, there you go. You just late again. You foolish.
Right.
You simple. Because guess what? Y'all ain't gonna be able to enjoy y'all day because y'all at conflict over why you late. Just ask the question. You simple one. You simple people. Then listen. Listen. What did it say? Listen. Shema to me. For I have important things to tell who? You. Everything I say is right. For I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. This is wisdom saying, when I want to speak to you, I'm not going to speak to you about anything devious. So if you hear go in the bank and hand them a note, that is not wisdom. That's your devious ways. Wisdom said, no, I'm going to get you whatever it is you're trying to get. I saw a dude last week on social media, and he was bragging about how he robbed these banks. He was like, yeah, I robbed these banks. And I went in ate all these banks. And the dudes that was interviewing him was like, because he wrote a book about the bank robberies and stuff like that. So the dudes that was with him was real interested in how you get in the bank. What you do? They listening like, oh yeah, I'm about to go do it. And this fool gonna say, yeah, the reason why I kept going, because the first time I went there, I got me $6,700. $6,700? You could have claimed 2 girls from the neighborhood for your taxes. And got $6,700. You could have took Quee little sister and her new baby, $6,700. And he shared it like it was real good. And I listened to them other fools who thought, oh man, maybe I should do it. Look, if you need $6,700, just go to your bank and ask for it. $6,700, you can go to payday loans. Tax, title for your car. You can pawn your grandmother earrings. $6,700 you can put yourself in. This kind of harm's way, they came in there and shot him for robbing a bank with $6,700. You think it's Butch Cassidy and Casanova and you're going to get $1 million? You crazy. Listen, that is deception, but I'm going to speak some wisdom. And I'm going to show you how to create $6,700. Teach you how to create $6,700. You know how to cook? Okay, go buy you some chicken wings and start selling these chicken wings. And then start saving your money to get the $6,700. Do not go in that bank. You know how to do hair? All right, put them caramels on the stove and begin to do some weaves real quick and save your money to get you $6,700. There is other ways wisdom will speak out to you, but it's saying I'm speaking out to you. Yeah. What I'm also telling you is the reason why you have arguments is because you got no new information. So you have to invest in going to a marriage counselor. You have to invest in going to marriage seminars. The reason why your finances ain't improved, how many want y'all finances improved? How many of y'all don't think you got enough to invest for your finances improved? You know how I know you don't think you got enough to invest for your finances improved? Because the first investment you should ever make with any money is give to God. That ain't got nothing to do with me trying to tell you about the tithe. The first investment that you should ever make with any money is give to God. God is the only person who I've seen take money and make it increase the way he did. I done bought properties, I done bought cars, I done invest in stocks, I done invest in gold, I done invest in silver, I done invest in pajamas, I done invest in slippers. Nobody has given me a return on my money like God. Nobody. The only reason why anything works, if I flip a house, if I sell a car, the only reason why anything works is because I gave to God first and he opened up. Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? He opened up. Have you ever turned on your air conditioning in your car or your heat in your car and realized that your vent was closed? Yeah. And you trying to figure out why my air ain't working. All the time the vent was closed. The reason why you ain't increasing is because you got your vent closed to God. And God is saying all you got to do is open your vent up. First money that you get, you should give to me. And all you got to see is watch what I do with that and watch how I accelerate your 10% and make you increase.
Come on in there.
Shema, let's go, let's go. My words are plain to anyone. What are they? Plain. They are not different. They're not complicated. So God is not speaking to nobody in tongues. If you speak in tongues, that's for your edification. God is speaking to nobody in tongues. He's saying, I am making it plain. Why am I making it plain? He said, be plain to anyone with understanding. Clear, how is he doing it? Not fuzzy. Clear to those with knowledge. Choose by instructions rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than ruby. Everybody say they say, God is about to Shema. He said, you chasing gold, you chasing silver, you chasing rubies, but what I'm about to say is way more important than all those. Nothing you desire can compare with it. Nothing you desire can compare with wisdom. Nothing that you want can compare with wisdom. And God is saying, get rid of your distractions. Get rid of your what? Distractions. Get rid of your distractions. Do I got any people got distraction disease? Yeah. Like a disease of distraction. I'm just drawn to it. I'm controlled by it. He said, get rid of your distractions. Make the main thing the main thing. Make the what? Make the main thing the main thing. If you start cooking, then your focus should only be on what? Cooking. I put something in the oven yesterday and went outside. Started talking to somebody. And I told him, I'm cooking something, I'll be out there in a minute. He called back. I went right back outside. Then I went outside. Then I walked back inside. I said, man, I just said I didn't want to leave the dad one. Because I can't make the main thing the main thing. If you're on a date, you be on a date. If you saving money, save money. If you want to work on your relationship, work on your relationship. Last week we had a game. It's called we had a game night at the house, but it was called Cash Flow. And the game night was not to get people to come over to play a game. It was really to start a conversation about why we're notoriously broken in our community. And how can we do some things to fix those things? But it was so funny because in the game night, one person had a sale. She had money. Her and her husband, they had made all this money. They was doing it. But everybody else, every other couple that played or everybody else that was playing paid attention to their prosperity rather than worked on their own. The crazy part, we all started from the same place, getting a paycheck. This one person accelerated past still getting a paycheck, but accelerated. But we looking at them. One time, she cashed in something, and the bank owed her $91,000 and change. And somebody in the game said, "That's her change." That's her change. Well, you got to make the main. Everybody say, make the main thing the main thing. Here's why I'm telling you that, because for the next 30 days, God is saying we're going to start a reconstruction plan, right? We're going to start a reconstruction plan. Tomorrow, we start a reconstruction plan. How many of y'all want your life to change? How many of y'all can expect it to change in the next 30 days? I'm talking about really expected to change in the next 30 days. Now, how many of y'all told yourself a story as to why it can't change in the next 30 days? So what I would like to do is challenge you the same way you just told yourself a story as to why I can't celebrate the next 30 days. Like, how you gonna say my life gonna celebrate in 30 days? They don't even know me. God do. God don't even know me, because I don't even know God. God do. Here's what says, everybody say Shema. Shema. Means to listen and hear pay attention to, and focus on, and respond. So God is saying, if you shema, if you listen, pay attention to, and focus on, and respond, I'll do this. And vice versa. God is saying the same thing. Shema, meaning that when you say something to me, I'm going to pay attention to what you say. I'm going to focus on it, and I'm going to respond to it. Amen. So it's not just you responding to God. God is saying, I'm waiting for you to shema, talk to me so that I can hear you, show you that I'm paying attention to you, and I'm focusing on you, and I'll show you by my response, and my response is your acceleration. This is crazy.
That's good.
Do I need to repeat?
Repeat. I think they missed.
What everybody say? God is saying, if you speak to me, then my responsibility is to pay attention, to hear you and listen, pay attention to you and focus on what you're saying and then respond. That's called prayer. And vice versa, when I say something to you, it is for you to listen to, hear, pay attention to, and then respond. Shema. So what I'm speaking in these days is Shema. Because there's going to be a response. If you're not responding, then I'm going to stop. Shema.
Wow.
If you're not going to respond, why am I going to keep wasting my breath? You ain't never told your children that? If you ain't going to listen to what I'm saying, why keep wasting my... You ain't never told your husband that? Your wife that? There ain't no sense in me telling you again, because I'm just wasting my... Because God saying there's a 30-day restructure plan. It's going to start tomorrow. What it's going to be is I'm going to go on live every morning. I'm going to go on live. And I'm going to go live on like YouTube, social media, and all social media platforms. But I'm going to go live for the next 30 days. It's not that I want to go live. It's only because God is Shema. And he's saying, what I'm telling you, I want you to respond to. You got a 30-day plan. Guess what? I don't even know what day 2 is. But I know if I sit down, Shema, hear God's voice, he's going to instruct me and I'm going to respond. I'm not talking to you as if I walk through this 30-day plan. I'm talking to you because I need to walk through this 30-day plan. And I need to walk through this 30-day plan because this 30-day plan was told to me 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2019. But now I'm in 2020 and God is saying, I am trying to accelerate you. So do it now. Because now is in your blessing. So it's going to start tomorrow. And then when you get it, I want you to share it. I want you to share it on your platforms because it's going to be 30 days. Reconstruction. Everybody say 30-day operation. Reconstruction. If you ever go to if you ever get in real estate or something like that, it's something called reconstruction. Meaning that you'll go in, you'll see the property in its current condition, but in 30 days, you can see the whole transformation of what it can look like and what it can possibly be. Did you get that? In 30 days, you can walk in and you can start an action plan to reconstruct a property that is dilapidated, that is distressed and depressed, and change it into something where somebody wants to live in. And God is saying, that's what I'm about to do to you.
Come on, God. Thank you, Lord.
Them the 30 days, which means that before you begin to build, you have to tear down. So don't get excited about just the building. Tear it down. I made a big mistake when I first got in real estate. I went into a house and I just put drywall right over top of the bad walls. People moved in, it was so pretty. Talking about had the crown molding all around, all that was so pretty. A couple years later, everything inside that wall started coming through the drywall. They like, whoa, why would you just take the minute to deconstruct and then reconstruct? So it ended up costing me all my profit and some more. Here's why I'm telling you that, because in the Hebrew calendar, 2020 means the year of the what? Mouth. That means that what God says is the year of what he says. This is the year of what God is going to say. And it is important for you to hear what he's going to say so that you can respond appropriately.
Come on.
It is the year of the what?
Mouth.
The mouth. It is not the year of the eyes. It is the year of the mouth. So God is saying, all y'all who are excited about 2020 vision, you need to get 2020 hearing, because what I'm about to say is going to be more important. And your response is that much greater. It's the year of what? Your increase is going to come from what God says. Tap the person next to you. Say, your increase is going to come from what God says. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Then if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and Shema, pray, Shema, speak to me, let me hear you, focus on and respond to, Shema, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear Shema from heaven and forgive their sins and restore their land. Say, expand my territory, God.
Expand my territory.
Acceleration also means an expansion of territory. God is saying, if you Shema, if you begin to pay attention to what I'm saying to you, if you begin to listen to what I'm saying, pay attention and focus on and respond to, you're going to see the territory expand. Vice versa. If I begin to say to you, and you listen to, hear, pay attention to, focus on, and respond, you're going to see the expansion that you've been looking for. God just Shema in this place.
Hallelujah.
God, if you heard God Shema in this place, give him praise. If you heard God Shema to you in this place, give him praise. If you heard God Shema to you, your praise is your response. If you heard God Shema to you, your praise is your response. Your praise is your response. If you heard God Shema, pause, pay attention to it. God is looking for your response. Your response is a thank you, God.
Yes.
God is saying, I'm speaking. And I'm speaking loud. I'm actually yelling. Here's the part. You might have heard him, but he wasn't as rough as you thought he was going to be. He was still gentle. Gentle with grace. Because now you got the grace to Shema, to listen to. Remember, y'all, Kobe wasn't just like taken away from here for no reason. I believe when funerals happen or death happen, that that's an opportunity for God to Shema. It just happened to use, some of us been ignoring him on smaller scales. So then he got to use a bigger scale. Say, now will you listen? We lost a woman in faith, a giant in faith, Tony Evans' wife. We lost her just a couple weeks ago. And it was a big thing in the faith community. And everybody went back to normal services and just went back to continue to move forward. If you let this death of this young man and his daughter and the other 7 people that was on the plane go in vain, you ain't Shema. You ain't listening. Some of us didn't even want to look at the newscast because we didn't want it to keep hitting home. My daughter said to me, she said, what did you think about it, Daddy? I said, I don't want to talk about it. And I just started crying. I said, I don't want to talk about it. Because immediately I thought of her. And I thought if I wasn't able to protect her. And I thought about things like, so I said, I don't even want to talk about it. But it's the truth. It's inevitable. God is Shema. And he's speaking to us. So I had to pause our regular scheduled program. This is still him increasing in us. But I had to pause it because God is speaking now. Father God, we just thank you for this day. All those who want to stand in the sign of repentance for not listening. All who want to stand as a sign of, speak, Lord, your servant is listening, I'm ready now. You can stand to your feet. Lord, help us with our conflict. Our conflict between the story that we tell ourselves and who you are. Help us this day to Shema, listen to your voice, hear you speak, pay attention to you, focus on, and most importantly, allow us to respond. Let nothing get lost in translation this day from what you said to us to who we are. You said you will never leave us or forsake us because we're your children. So Father, we just ask right now that you just touch our hearts so that we can Shema to you. Say, Lord, help me today to pay attention to what you're saying. Help me not have you repeat to me over and over and over again the same thing. Help me to move now by responding to what you said. Today, if you tell me to get a pen to write my thought down, let me not hesitate to get the pen. If you tell me to get myself together today, so I won't be late tomorrow, because you know me, let me respond by getting my stuff together. Help me today, Lord. Crush my stories that sets itself against you. Help me today, Lord, to crush my stories that set itself against you. Accelerate in my life, Lord, the way you have planned. It's in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Thank you for Shema to me. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 When you came in, you should have got a communion cup. Did everybody get a communion cup? Somebody don't have one? When you came in, you should have got a communion cup. Today, I want you to see this. We're going to close out this service with communion. And there's some talks about what you got. But good to see you. Welcome. Today, you get one, Tony? I don't know. Everybody got a communion cup? Here's what I want to say about this today as we take communion. That God thought you was worth risking his entire life. He thought you was worth the risk of going to the cross and dying. He thought you was worth the risk. That you was that much precious to him, that he was worth the risk. That he would die on the cross, that we would be able to carry his name. That you was worth the risk. That somebody who had their back turned to him, a sinner, that you was worth the risk. So this is symbolism for blood and body of Jesus. When she said, I did this for you, do this in remembrance of me. In the same way, after eating the bread, he took the cup, he said, this cup is the new cup. Meaning no matter what you heard before, none of that matters. I just Shema. And I told you to love one another. I just spoke. What about the other stuff? I just spoke, and I spoke something brand new. I just spoke acceleration into your life. despite your circumstance. I just spoke acceleration to you, despite all that you've been told about yourself. I just spoke the spirit of acceleration into your life. I just Shabbat, and I'm solidified by my blood, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me. He said, whenever you eat this bread and drink of this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he returns. You can just pass. Come on, let's give God praise. You can pass your stuff down to the right. You can pass your stuff down to the right. Don't leave it on the floor, please. But God, thank you for Shema.